been an amazing talent show tonight.
Check, check, check.
We got one more act for you before we pack up and head home tomorrow. So who's ready to rock?
The 80s. That's when Christian rock really started to roll. So I got on with a group of guys from my church who'd started a metal band called 316. I loved it. After a couple of shows, our minister connected us to an old friend of his who managed Christian bands.
I am here to steal you for the summer. 316 on tour, the Rock and Roll Road Show. Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition.
And so began the summer of 1986.
Are y'all famous?
I don't think so. Not yet, anyway.
There have been some issues on tour with you guys. God almighty. Have you run away before?
Hey, Skip. She can sing.
Darling, please don't toss us away.
All right, let's go to Mobile.
Most hard rock music does not glorify God.
I'm tired of these churches. They think all rock is evil. They don't want to hear our music. We should play somewhere where they do.
316s?
Yeah, I am pretty sure that's us.
But there are 4 of us.
316 is in consideration for the Motley Crue and Striper Heaven and Hell Tour!
Something special is happening with this band.
The best thing that's ever happened to me.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Turn the music down! Now! Come here! Come here!
On the radio, songs with lyrics like disfurtive scritch-scratch, dropping that crotch, looking for a slick lick, I ain't asking for much.
Oh, hello. I'm January Hamby II, writer, director, actor, novelist, memoirist, and self-proclaimed auteur. And welcome to my world of cinema. I was just watching the latest French noir film, Bloc de Lotte. Oh, you haven't heard of it? Anyway, I'm here to tell you about my latest film, Writer's Block. That's written, directed by yours truly, and we're getting ready to have the premiere of this film. It's been rejected by the famous film festivals of Sundance, South by Southwest, Austin Film Festival, and many, many others. We'll be screening 2 other films. The first one's called The Perfect Shot by the Christian singer Jeremy Camp. Oh, it's not the singer. Okay, well, we will be showing The Perfect Shot directed by Jeremy, he's really not the singer. Are you sure? We couldn't get the singer, even as like an opening musical act. Well, shit. And then, of course, we have Gunnar Willis, a very peculiar individual who has directed a film called The Wages of Sin. You know, I love that film because it has a very cinema verite cinematography and, the mise-en-scene acting. Of course, there's my film, Writer's Block, which is about a writer who takes that advice, write what you know, a little too far, perhaps, with murder. We will also have a behind-the-scenes featurette, which will have the raw behind-the-scenes, the really nitty-gritty, the things you think you want to see, but you may not really want to see, but you kind of want to see. And then, of course, there's a Q&A led by Chris White, who is the renowned director of Electric Jesus. I think there's some musical elements in that. This whole event will be taking place December 15th at 7:30 on Facebook.com. That is Facebook.com. Don't forget it. I know it's not as popular these days. And we will be sure to make cinematic history. So be sure to join us, and we'll see you there.
Hey, I told you not to come here.
body remains limp and cold. Pulse gone. Nothingness. Using my investigation skills, I can tell one thing. This man is for sure super duper dead.
Dan, I must talk to you.
Shut your trap, lady. I must remain hyper-focused.
But I love you.
Mary, I don't have time. I have to solve this murder.
And murder our love in the process?
If that's what it takes, Dame.
You can't do this alone. Don't be a hero.
I'm no hero. I'm just doing my job, sweetheart.
Are you okay, Joey?
He's
yeah,
choking. He's choking.
You all right?
Still rolling. We're still rolling.
Just breathe,
Will,
just breathe.
can
Take a
we-
deep breath.
Cut.
Will, water.
Tails, mercy. Heads, justice.
Look, I know this looks really bad and it might need some explaining.
Yeah.
I made myself a promise. If I couldn't write a feature here, I would move on with my life.
You're some kind of like movie director or something?
I'm aspiring.
Oh, okay. You're just breaking in then.
Yeah. They always say, write what you know, except my life's freaking boring. I may have taken the advice too literally.
Dude, what the
Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm thrilled to be starting the premiere. This is crazy. This is the premiere of Writer's Block. Wow. Sorry, I'm a little speechless. It's been kind of a long road to get here, and I'm just finally really excited for you guys to see it. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Daniel Hamby. I am the writer-director of Writer's Block. And again, thank you so much for coming. I do have some housekeeping things I just need to get out of the way real quick. So I'm just going to hit those real fast. So just so you know, there is some language in some of the films. So if that is not really your thing, just be aware of that. Sorry, I just got a notification. Anyway, there's some language in some of these films, so if that is not your thing, just be aware of that. Okay, cool. It's still running. I'm just making sure. Sorry, this notification popped up that was like, don't play the video. I don't know. Anyway, don't worry about it. So let me hop back into it. There's some language in these films, so if that's not your thing, you may want to tune out of this premiere. But yes. Cool. So obviously we have the chat up. This is live if you couldn't tell. Yeah, feel free to comment, chat. This is the cool thing about this whole thing really is that it's, we kind of get to talk during the movie basically. So, which you don't really get to do that in a live theater or anything like that. So it's super cool. And it's just, we did this last year. With my film Mayor, we had like a live online premiere like this, and it was just a lot of fun to kind of get to talk to you guys and interact with y'all, and just have fun with this. And then be sure to share it if you don't mind, and tell people that even if you don't have a Facebook profile, you can be a part of this event. The link still works. You can come in, you can watch the whole thing. It's awesome. So I don't know if you can chat or not, but you can definitely at least watch it.
Cool. So that's the housekeeping stuff. I'm really excited for you guys to see these first two films. They're really incredible. If you don't know, the first one's called The Perfect Shot by Jeremy Camp, not the singer. And what I really liked about this film is it's kind of a comment on the fashion industry in the same way that Writer's Block is kind of commenting on the film industry. So they're kind of sister films in that way. And I met Jeremy actually at the Reedy Reels Film Festival a while back, and we just were kindred spirits, and we got to hang out there and at another festival, at West Sound Film Festival over in Bremerton, Washington. And I just love the guy. He's awesome. He's an awesome filmmaker. The Perfect Shot. That's the first one that we'll be playing. And then also after that, we have The Wages of Sin, which is directed by Gunnar Willis. Gunnar, he definitely. So if you live in Charlotte, you've probably heard of Gunnar. He kind of runs around in circles, in the same circles that I do in the filmmaking community here. But he's actually from Greenville, and I saw some of his films a while back, and the thing that's really cool about Gunnar is like he just has like a really clear voice as a director in general, which is it's very rare that you just see someone that just kind of knows what they're doing, and you just hear it's their film. Every time I watch a Gunnar Willis film, it is definitely his. And The Wages of Sin kind of plays up to a lot of the old Hollywood style films that are there. And hang on a second. Is anyone getting kicked off here? That's interesting. Let me just check something here, you guys. Message me real quick if you're having any troubles logging in right now. I'd like to know. Blocked me. Hang on. I'm just going to cut away real quick. It looks like we're having some kind of dispute here. It shouldn't be popping up, but I'll get to the bottom of it. We'll be right back. Hey everybody. just gonna check a couple things here. I got flagged for something dumb. It said I had like copyrighted music, I think just on that intro part, and that is definitely not the case. So give me just a second. I want to make sure that everyone's got access to this. So yeah, hang on just a second. I'm going to cut to we'll return in just a moment. Okay, are you guys with me now? Is it working? If you don't mind, comment on here real quick. I want to make sure this is working right. Sorry about that. It seems that like that countdown that I had put in got us kicked off for whatever reason, which is really dumb because it's all yes when you said a notification. Okay. I'm just going to check something. Is it live now? New link. It works. Great. Thank you. Sorry about that, everybody. That is a little frustrating. So we'll hop back into it. No worries. We're still doing this thing. But yeah, I'm just going to kind of go back over the order of some of this stuff. I'm going to go real fast. Real quick, if language is kind of your thing or not your thing, you may want to tune out for this. Just be aware of that. The chat is up, and please feel free to comment, share with others. Even if you know people that don't have a Facebook account, they can tune in still as well. So it will work without a profile. Real quick, I'll give you a rundown of the films too. So the first film we're showing is The Perfect Shot by Jeremy Camp. not the singer. I met Jeremy at the Reedy Reels Film Festival in Greenville, South Carolina, and we were really just kindred spirits. He kind of did his film kind of comments about the fashion world in a way that my film kind of comments about the film world. So it's they're kind of sister films in that way, and I just thought it really was a perfect fit for this premiere. Sweet. Everyone's texting me right now telling me they're back in. You gotta love going live, right? And then the second film that's playing is The Wages of Sin. The thing I love about Gunnar Willis, who directed this film, is that he has such a clear voice for what he's doing. It's like you can watch any of his films and just know exactly who made it. And I mean that for like any director out there, not just locally, like the world. You can tell that it is a Gunnar Willis film. So I'm so excited to have Wages of Sin. It kind of has, or it pays homage to a lot of the old Hollywood films that are out there, and which is a lot of fun. And and my film kind of does a similar same thing. So when I saw it a month ago, when it officially dropped, I knew I had to have it for this premiere. And then of course there's my film Writer's Block, which if you don't know anything about, basically, it's about a filmmaker who takes the advice, write what you know, too far. And what I mean by that is he's trying to, the character here is trying to write a murder mystery feature film, but he feels like he doesn't know anything about murder, so he may or may not be presented with the opportunity to potentially murder this drifter that he meets. So chaos ensues. I think you'll like it. And then after that, we're going to have a Q&A, and that's going to be moderated by Chris White, who's the director of Electric Jesus. If you haven't seen the film, go to Amazon, go rent it. It's amazing. Just do it, because it's a good treat to have. Brian Baumgartner stars in the film, which that's Kevin from The Office. And then Judd Nelson from The Breakfast Club is in this movie as well. So you really can't go wrong with it. It's awesome. It's a great time. Go check it out because it's incredible. But he'll be leading our Q&A. We're going to have James Self, who's one of the actors on there. We're going to have Melissa, who's our editor. And we're going to have myself as part of that Q&A. And you can submit questions, so go ahead and think about what you might want to ask. And then after that, we'll have a behind-the-scenes video, which will kind of go into the writing and the production side of things, which is also exciting. Okay. All right. Without further ado, we'll get things started here. Again, thank you guys so much for being here, for being a part of this. I am just so excited to get this out there and for you guys to see these films. And without further ado, please sit back and enjoy some great movies.
Hello, my name is Jeremy Camp. I am the writer and director of The Perfect Shot. I want to start by saying thank you to Daniel for letting me open his amazing film, The Writer's Block. Just quick thing about the film, I'm not going to go too in-depth in it, but it was shot on a 1920s Cine Kodak on double perf 16mm. I just wanted to tell a short, simple story that fit the camera perfectly. I hope you enjoy it. I know you're going to enjoy Writer's Block. If you're interested in anything film, photography, or motion picture related, be sure to check out my YouTube channel, Pinebrook Pictures. So if you enjoy this, check that out. Thank you for watching, and I'm excited for you guys to see my film, and I'm even more excited for you to see Writer's Block.
Bring her in.
Turn toward me? Well, not like that. Your nose looks weird. Give me a smile. Oh, no. You seem crazy. I knew we had too many carbs for breakfast. Did you send us the right sizes? The clothes seem a little...
I think we got it. Yeah. I think we got it.
Hi, I know I probably look horrible on this webcam, my usual setup. I can't set up right now, but I'm Gunnar Willis. I'm super excited to have Wages show next to these two amazing films. Thank you to Daniel for the opportunity. It's a weird one, but I've also seen Writer's Block, and I think it fits well with the dark humor. So I hope you guys like it, and I'm excited.
Go.
Little. Ah, shoot! Don't forget, this is the house of God, not a place for fun. Come on. Go on, go home, huh? Have to go home and read a book or something. Yeah, just do whatever you want, you know. Oh. You little demon. Martha. Hey, get up. Morning.
Morning. What time is it?
Well, past 6.
Oh, no. He's gonna be so mad. Oh, where's the shovel?
What's going on?
Donnie told me to bring him this stuff, and I gotta do exactly as he says, okay?
Did Donnie tell you this in person?
No, he called me on the phone. I mean...
Your dead husband called you on the phone.
No. What a crazy dream. I'll clean up here. You just go on back inside. Forget you ever saw them.
Okay, now wait a
Go
minute.
back inside.
Martha,
You get in the
stop.
bed.
Hey, listen to me.
Okay, fine. I'm on drugs.
Drugs?
Loads of them. So many. But this has sobered me up. So you can just go back inside. Okay?
Stop, Martha. Didn't you cry to me once because you had too many times?
Well, that was the beginning.
Okay.
Back to bed?
No. Calling for help.
Wait!
Nurse,
Mother,
therapist, someone.
you can't tell anybody. Nobody can know.
Martha,
Nobody.
get off! Martha, get off of
Nobody
me!
gets hurt. Do you understand?
What is going on?
Last night, my husband came back from the dead and threatened my dog.
Are you actually on drugs?
Forget it. Go inside.
Okay, Martha.
I'm trying to save your life.
From what?
When Donnie makes a threat, he means it.
Martha, Donnie is dead.
He was? I prayed every day. Did you know that? I prayed every day that man would get what he deserved. Instead, he came back to life.
Martha.
Leave me, priest!
Hear me out.
Father.
Would you please just listen?
I'm serious.
It'll take 2 seconds. Come on. I just need you to flip a coin.
Oh, you don't have time.
Now look, I use this for every tough decision of my life. Choice for heads, choice for tails.
I flipped a coin before.
Okay, all right. The point is that I never look at the result. By the time the coin's up in the air, you've already made up your mind on what you want. Whether you want to stay here and dig, whether you want to go home and get some sleep.
Father.
I just want you to try it.
Heads, you go inside and hide.
Tails, you go home.
Father, get in the coffin.
What? Are you crazy?
Get in.
That is not possible. I was at the funeral. I saw him, Dad.
Forgive me, Father.
How much is in the bag?
25,000.
That's my girl. You don't look too happy to see me.
I am.
I'm really glad to hear that, Martha. Now, I need you to move to the left.
Wait.
You see, I don't want to get any blood on the baseball cards.
Donnie.
Jesus!
Whoa! Peace be with you!
Get out of the hole!
Get out!
I was very specific.
He just showed up.
Donnie, you're dead. Excuse me? Oh, I mean, you were dead. I buried you.
I was dead in Kansas, too.
What?
What does that mean?
Why did you drag him into this?
I didn't.
I don't want to shoot a priest.
You don't have to shoot a priest.
I mean, I'm gonna burn already.
Please don't shoot. Donnie! Did you kill those women?
Do you really want to know? I'll tell you what. None of them ever had a preacher with them. So, you can say your prayers.
I pray you get what you deserve.
Who are you?
Judgment.
Wait, please!
Mercy or damnation.
The innocent decides his fate.
Me?
Does he get what he deserves?
I don't know. Tails, mercy.
Wait.
Heads, justice.
What is it doing?
See you in hell.
Martha? Martha, wait. You just sent a man to hell.
We'll call it even.
Make Movies or Die podcast. I'm Plaid Bailey, and we're here with former child actor and self-proclaimed auteur, Charles Graham. Charles, tell us, where do you get your inspiration, and what would you like to tell to other filmmakers?
Okay, well, I never use a formula. Okay, that's wedding videographer territory, okay? And everyone knows that's the lowest form of cinema possible. You know, I say writers should write what they know. You know, do your research, really get into your character's mind. Because you can't write what you don't know. Throw them into the unexpected. You know, that's what that surprise is all about. You know, and as far as the filmmaking lifestyle, it's not easy. We're talking 18, 19, 23 hours. They say that bartenders have the highest divorce rate. Look at filmmakers, Plaid. You know what I'm talking about. And they say firefighters have the most dangerous job, but, you know, we're under fire for our art and our cinema. We're under fire from critics. We're under fire from the audience and executives. And is this PA going to get my coffee or not? And all these other...
Yeah.
What you listening to?
It's a screenwriting podcast.
Oh, really? You're some kind of like movie director or something?
Yeah, I'm aspiring.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome, man. I mean, have you made anything that I would like have seen or anything?
No, I'm writing my first feature.
Oh. Oh, okay. You're just breaking in then.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Yeah. Hey, way to chase a dream, right? Hey. Hey. What's your favorite movie of all time?
I don't know.
For me, Suicide Squad. Greatest movie ever, man.
To each his own.
I mean, it didn't have much of a story or anything, but it is full of all this badass action. And it's trippy as shit, man. Trust me. I've been hiking for 6 months, and I have been some places. Yeah.
It's useless to have story and plot and good characters if you don't have an agent promoting your work. And the way you get an agent is you go...
You want to know a secret?
Sure.
I faked my own death.
What?
Yeah. Easier than you think. I just sent a death certificate over from the Philippines. Poof. Officially non-existent.
Yeah, but your friends and family know you're here, right?
Cut all ties, man. Honestly, I think I did my family a favor because I don't think they really wanted me around anyway. But, joke's on my dad because I stole his camping gear, right?
So, yeah, for real, no one knows you're out here or alive or anything?
Nope. Not a soul, man. And it's actually kind of scary because hitchhikers go missing up here all the time. And I'd be like one of a dozen, maybe. And then good luck getting the cops to come up here because, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I've taken up way too much of your time. We'll get out of your hair, okay?
Here. Hey, my name is Will Wright.
Guy.
Guy. Oh, like just Guy.
Just Guy, man.
Oh, okay, Guy. Hey, idea, you know, just, I'm staying at my grandparents' cabin, and there's plenty of space to stay if you know, you're more than welcome to.
You some kind of weirdo or something, man?
Oh, no, I'm just...
Dude, I'm kidding. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Let's do this,
All
yeah.
right. Okay, all right. For sure. Hey, I gotta take this. It's my biggest investor.
Well, no worries, man.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Hi, Grandma. What? Oh, I told you I came up here to write.
Why can't you be more like your cousin Jimmy? He's a youth pastor leading people to the Lord.
That's great, Grandma.
You could at least make some good Christian movies. I saw this film, Walk on Water, about a swim star, Peter Stone, who gets saved and then wins the Olympics. It was great. Because the Russian swimmer racing against him refused to believe, and then he gets attacked by a shark, but he gets saved before he dies. You can have
Yeah, I'll call you right back, Grandma, okay?
Holy!
Got you good, man.
Yeah, right.
So, you got anything to drink?
Yeah. Let me get you something.
Cool. Dude, you own Shawshank Redemption?
Yeah.
Dude, that movie's so boring. It's the worst, man. So, can I read the script that you're working on?
It's not quite ready yet. Still need some polishing.
You all right in there?
Yeah. Yeah, just bump the cabinet.
Clumsy. So, what's the typewriter for?
I like to write my final drafts on them. Sort of like a tradition that I want to do.
A toast. To you, killing it. As a freaking filmmaker, man!
Yeah. Amen. Amen.
Ooh. So, dude, I have an idea for a movie, and I think you'll love it.
Let's hear it.
Okay, sweet. First off, it's a sci-fi crime drama. Okay? Okay. Sick. Okay. At the end of the movie, you have two guys with guns. Okay, they're pointed at each other. Screen goes black. Bam! Gunshots. Ring out. End movie.
Oh, okay. It's a start. I think you'll need a bit more plot, though.
Oh. Well, I mean, it's got a little working out to do, right? Yeah. But that's where you come in. You direct it, I'll star in it, and next thing you know, we got a Netflix deal. Yeah. Dude, that's a party fun. Dude, you okay? Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hey, man, I'm gonna go ahead and hit the sack, dude. I just wanted to thank you for letting me stay. I hope you feel better. By the way, I think that shit that fell in your cup was rat poison, man. It must have accidentally just spilled in there. Anyways, It was expired, so that's cool because that could have killed somebody, right? Yeah. So, anyways, I hope you feel better.
The body remains limp and cold. Pulse gone. Nothingness. Using my investigation skills, I can tell one thing. This man is for sure super duper dead.
Dan, I must talk to you.
Shut your trap, lady. I must remain hyper-focused.
Right when you know.
What are you doing? You know I can breathe through this, right?
Okay, look, I know this looks really bad and it might need some explaining.
Yeah.
Look, guy, I made myself a promise. If I couldn't write a feature here, I would move on with my life. They always say, write what you know, except my life's freaking boring. I may have taken the advice too literally.
Dude, what the fuck?
Listen, guy, I am so sorry. Clearly I've lost my mind.
You have watched way too many movies, man.
Yeah.
It's better to use your hands.
What?
I must admit, of all the people that I have tortured and killed in these mountains, you are the first to try and murder me. And I was just gonna lay low, let my trail go cold, maybe let you live. You know, even though in your film the acting is atrocious and the lighting is horrible, it sounds like it was filmed in a wind tunnel. That's not the worst part. Let's just say I found your scripts. Let's see, okay. Mary, I love you. You can't do this alone. Detective Dan, this isn't your fight. Mary, don't be a hero, Dan. Detective Dan, I'm no hero, Mary. I'm just doing my job. I'll spare you the rest because not even you can stomach what a sick joke of a writer you are. Right? Let's start by erasing this god-awful movie so no one has to watch it ever again.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Really, it's fine. I'm almost done.
I said no! Oh.
Go in there. He's almost finished.
Hey everybody, my name is Chris White. I'm coming to you live from the 1950s or the early 60s. In the spirit of these films we have seen tonight, I've decided to broadcast in the style of Rod Serling. So I'll try to think of smart, witty things to say. Actually, I am broadcasting to you from my home in Greenville, South Carolina, but I just thought this all went with the spirit of our movies. In particular, I guess it kind of looks like The Wages of Sin here. And I am a big Gunnar Willis fan and fan of that film. And also, Jeremy Camp, The Perfect Shot. Some of you blinked and it was over. It's a very short film, but it's a very impactful film. So if you didn't blink, you're going to be thinking about it a lot. You'll be having nightmares, of course, about Gunnar's film. But hopefully you won't be having nightmares and you didn't blink and you miss it with Writer's Block, which is Daniel Hamby's film. And I have the privilege tonight of talking to not only this fabulous writer-director, Daniel Hamby. Hi, Daniel.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Yeah, there he is. There he is. That's him. That's him. That's the guy. His editor, Melissa Salpietra. Did I say it right?
Yes, very good.
Salpietra. We had time before. I could have asked you for pronunciation. So there was a little bit of panic on my face. That's what it was. And then, of course, the fantastic, amazing James Self. You look cleaned up, man. You look respectable now. I'm not afraid of you anymore.
Thank you. I tried to clean it up a little bit. Yeah.
Well, this is great. What I'm gonna do is, if you're watching live with us, and you will be able to see this later, I'm sure. But if you're watching live with us, we will. I'm gonna ask these guys some questions, try to get some discussion, and everybody feel free to answer whatever. Melissa, if I ask Daniel a question, you don't like his answer, please just you chime in. You say your answer. But as we get live, if you're watching live, you can submit questions and comments and everything. And so I'm just going to kick it off telling Daniel or asking Daniel. One of the things I admire so much about Writer's Block I think a film director's number one job is holding tone. And you've made this movie that has this really fascinating blend of like suspense thriller, like old school suspense thriller, like Hitchcock, Brian De Palma, and it's kind of, I guess, what I would call showbiz comedy, or like a dark comedy about filmmaking. What are there films like that you've seen that you're a fan of that kind of led you to where you ended up with writer's block?
Well, I mean, I've always loved like, mystery films and things like that. I mean, even going back to like, not necessarily mystery films, but mystery stories, I guess I should say. Like even back in school, like that was kind of like the area I kind of gravitated toward. Things like Goosebumps comes to mind, or like the Boxcar Children, which I know it sounds funny, but they were like all mystery books later on after that.
Oh, yeah,
and
I know that.
That's what got me into like actually reading books and stuff. So I guess it kind of started there, and later on, during school, eventually introduced to Hitchcock and some other films, mostly by force, as it usually has always started. But I remember seeing Psycho and just being kind of blown away, and it almost kind of reignited, I guess, a lot of those that mystery interest that I always had, I guess. So, I mean, as far as like, films that have inspired writer's block, you could definitely look there. And then as far as like the comedy side of things, it hasn't really been my forte until recently. With this film, I kind of stepped my toes into that, I guess. And, but this film really just kind of started as a place of like, I really wanted to make a film for filmmakers to kind of let their guard down and, kind of laugh at themselves, not take themselves so seriously. I guess like any art form, we have the temptation to fall into pretension. And I just kind of wanted to give us an excuse to run away from that as far as possible and maybe actually try to relate to each other a little bit. So.
Well, yeah, there are a lot of rather satirical references to the current culture of filmmaking, film podcast, screenwriting podcast, blogs, books. What? Just so I am clear on that, like what in that world do you find useful about that world, and what do you find to be tedious and, as you said, maybe pretentious?
I think like the only problem I kind of have and this is, it's like a societal problem too, but like we kind of all put up a front and we kind of like, bolster ourselves up bigger than we really are. And that's not like, that wouldn't be a problem if it didn't alienate people, if it didn't hurt people, if it didn't, create a sense of elitism, where it kind of like I'm better than you. That's kind of where it becomes the problem, and that's not just with filmmaking, that's with anything. And I think filmmaking sometimes gets the spotlight on that just because it's such an upfront medium, but I think you can find it anywhere. That filmmaking's not the outlier in that. But if there is frustration with it, it is that. But I mean, obviously, it's like compared to what you can do with filmmaking as far as storytelling and like making movies is fun, and I like it's like the most fun thing you can do. And I just like I guess this film is kind of like, it bothers me when we make it this kind of like thing that's not fun anymore. And yeah, that really is kind of all this film is commenting on. I think we're all very passionate people. In any art form, you have to be passionate. You kind of have to have a little bit of an ego if you think that you have something to actually say to the world. That's important, but with that passion comes a lot of generosity, comes a lot of empathy. I don't know a more generous group than the filmmaking community out there, whether it's I mean, just even within the making of this film, all the people that came together, invested their time, resources just to put this little project together. Like, there's no other community that's better when it comes to those kind of things. So that's what redeems it for me.
That's a really great point. I've found that as a filmmaker too, that when we're insular and when we're just observing or watching people on social media, maybe it feels like you can feel very insecure. But the second you make yourself vulnerable and reach out to somebody and say, hey, I'm trying to do this thing, can you help me? That's when people are like, yeah, man, I can totally help you.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? Like, it's a great, as you say, it's a great comment on where we are now. When we get insular and locked into our little devices and doom scrolling through things, we feel small. But the second we become vulnerable and reach out, our world expands. It's really fascinating.
It's all from insecurity. That's where it's all coming from.
Yeah.
In the end, I think we all have a little bit of imposter syndrome in us, and it's ironic that to sometimes that defense mechanism is we need to make ourselves look bigger or something, or or excluded or whatever. So I just kind of wanted to maybe comment on that and maybe take down that wall a little bit.
Well, let me ask you this, James, and you too, Melissa. Going back to the idea of the tone that Daniel's going for here, the suspense, the thriller, and the dark comedy. How did it read on the page when you guys? Well, maybe I'll ask you, James, first. When you first read the script, did you think this is really hilarious, or did you say, "Whoa, this is so creepy! What a great role to sink my teeth into"? Or was it some mix of those things?
I think it was kind of a mix. Really, because I got it and I was like, what is this, and then I started tinkering with it, and then when it gets towards the end, it's always the end that makes me go, oh, okay, I want to do this, I'm in, but from the beginning you're just like, all right, I don't know, maybe I could do this. And of course, as an actor, I just want to do anything, but I just thought he was my guy, is a big Lebowski, guy running around. And then towards the end, when it got to the end and you get the little twist, I was like, I really like this. I really like this guy.
Yeah, you're so well cast. You do an incredible job.
Thank you.
Just a great job. Melissa, what did you think, I guess, when you got the film? So you're the editor, so that's the person that's like, they say in film a lot of times it says a movie's written 3 times. It's written when the screenwriter writes it, that's the first time. When you get on set and shoot it, that's the second draft. And then in the edit, it's the third draft. What did you get when Daniel handed off the movie to you? Did you have raw footage and you did the assembly? Did he give you like an hour-long version that you had to pare down to 20? How did that work?
Dropped off the drive and I took it and we crafted it together into what it is. So yeah, I got the raw footage. I got to see every take and decide, like what we liked best and put it together. So yeah.
So what was the tone when you were looking at all that footage? Were you like,
it was.
I know this because I've edited movies, my own movies that I like now, but the first time I see them, I hate them. And I think, I thought this was going to be funny. It's not funny. Or I thought this was going to be scary. It's not.
That's why you should stuff. Because as an editor, I don't actually like being on set. Like, I don't like to know anything about the production or what goes on. I sometimes don't even like to see whose cast is who beforehand. Like, I like to get the footage and be the first audience member. So I'm looking at it without any baggage. And that's I feel that that's my superpower is I bring to it, is I don't have any baggage. Yeah. Like the director, has got months and months, sometimes years of thinking about this and envisioning it. And with every step of the process, there's all these variables that either work out or don't work out how you want them to, or maybe they're better, maybe they're worse. But when I get it, I feel that's kind of when the variables stop. And I'm able to take that everything that we have at that point, and then it's just a process of creative problem solving.
James, does it make you nervous that people like Melissa, who you've never met, They look at every take of yours, and then they decide what they're going to keep and everything. Are you like, no,
Well,
you just want to be there?
It's weird being an editor and meeting the actors and being like, I have watched hours and hours and hours
Yeah.
of you, and they have no idea who you
And
are.
yeah,
You're like,
you know who we are, and we have no idea.
you're like,
No,
I know you, James.
I like it because I think the editors are like, I don't know. Well, they're always one of the gods. They're the ones that either break you or make you. So it's in their hands afterwards to make it what it's supposed to be. We just go in and do what we're told in a way, but add to what we've been asked to do. So I don't ever have a problem with that. I'm like, it's in their hands. It's their baby now. So let's chop it up or do it the magic that they guys do and put it together. Yeah, I've never had a problem with that. I'm like, okay.
Somebody asked in the thread, Daniel, what's your favorite scene in the movie? I want to add to that question and put it kind of to everybody, what's your favorite scene? But specifically with Melissa, what was the scene in the movie when you're cutting the movie, putting it together? What was the first scene that really worked? And you and Daniel were kind of looking at each other like, okay, this works. This movie's going to be good. Is there a scene like that just came together and like excited you, like, okay, we got something here?
Do you remember, Daniel? That was so long
I
ago. I feel like
the one thing that comes to mind is the bathroom scene. I think that was kind of one of those smaller scenes that was really quick to put together.
Oh yeah.
And I wasn't sure if that was going to work, how it was going to turn out, but then I just loved how like it cuts in with like James walking in. You're not really sure what's going on. He's like, hey, I'll just stay. And then it cuts to Dre just like miserable on the toilet. And I think I laughed out loud, like audibly. And yeah, that was kind of, I was like, okay, maybe, it looks like things might work out here. Yeah. So,
James, just as an actor question to you, when you're playing that role, are you thinking, like, just tell me about your process as an actor. Are you thinking, I'm a serial killer trying to find somebody to kill? Or are you just thinking, I'm just some guy? Like, what are you thinking? Because we're certainly not, we're confused, right? Or not confused, but we're just like, this guy could be a good guy, could be a bad guy. We're not sure. Maybe he's sinister, maybe he's not. Right up to the moment where it gets really, like, after he tries to suffocate you in your sleep, that's probably my favorite beat of the movie, when he just fails and you're like, dude, what is going on? Like, are you thinking like, yeah, I'm gonna kill this dude in your head? Or are you just playing something else? How do you pull that off?
I do just moment by moment. Yeah, I don't think you go down that serial killer route. That's probably for, I don't know, too methody or something, because I think that's just a dangerous zone if you go down that road, to try to be something like that, because you just can't. So you just stick to what's happening in the moment. And I'd like to just do a thread of emotion. So I'll just try and catch a thread and just hold on to it. So towards, the end is when I just started thinking, honestly, more angrily. Is as simple as I can make it, and then I just hold on to those threads and let them power themselves. The bathroom scene I enjoyed, and that was one of the directions that I got, because when I first did it, I came around the corner and I was a lot more serious, a little darker, and Daniel was like, had to give me the direction, lighten it up, so I had to switch and then turned it into what it was. But yeah, I don't you can't. I don't think you can go down the road of trying to be a serial killer, because you're not. But you can be right there in that moment in time and say, what can I react to that's right in front of me?
Well, I guess, it's like anything actors do, like playing drunk. If you want to, you don't play drunk. I'm drunk. You play like I'm trying not to be drunk, and then that reads as drunk. Or if you're, I think it's something else with comedy. With comedy, if you're just really zeroed in on a specific thing you're trying to do, it starts to be really funny to people. But Daniel, to you, so you guys are putting this film together, you're holding tone. I think you let the cat out of the bag at the exact right moment. Like you let us go back and forth on what we think is going to happen. were you guys talking about that? Like, I think we're giving too much away here. Let's hold off. Or how did you guys know in post? Did you say, this is the moment when I want the audience to know that James really is a bad guy?
I think it was shot that way. I mean,
Yeah.
it came to me as we're not going to reveal, and then the scene, where James, the what the fuck, and then the use your hands, or you watching too many movies, use your hands. Like, that's the moment that he turned evil, and it was so cool to watch. I think that's the scene or the couple takes that I watched, and I landed on one that gave me chills. I was like, this is the one we're using.
Great take, James. Great take.
Yeah, Melissa, actually, I was
think,
like, we were trying to cut down the film, and that shot came up, and I was like, well, maybe we should just like cut to another shot here. And Melissa was like,
nope.
She
on the sword.
yeah, and she's pretty flexible, with what usually can work in the edit and stuff. But that was the one hill she was gonna die on, and I was like, okay, I with that visceral reaction, it's like, as a director, you trust your people like that.
Trust your gut. And I think we were deciding between, it was like, do we want to keep this one, or do we want to use a shot that rack focuses from James to
that's right.
That's cool.
We want to do this, and I was like, no, this is the one, because it.
No, you don't do that, right? You don't use the rack focus.
We stay
good. Yeah.
We stay on the guy character.
Yeah, good choice.
He's so evil in that moment. It's awesome.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention the score. The music is fantastic, and for people that may not know about how films are made, like especially in a short film, often you don't get to have an original score, like your own music. You did, Daniel. Who is this composer who produced this music and put it together for you that brings together all the great? Oh my gosh, we've mentioned Hitchcock, Brian De Palma, all those great suspense thriller kind of ideas. It was almost like you had Bernard Herrmann doing the score. How did you? Who is this person? How did you find them and put it together?
So we had Kyle McCuiston do our score, and I first came across him at the Knoxville Film Festival when I was screening my film Mayor, and he had directed a film which he had also scored, which played in the same block, and it was just like, I was just completely blown away with how amazing the score was. It was, just like he just nailed the tone of what that movie was trying to do, and I knew immediately, I was like, I've got to know, keep this guy in mind and remember him and reach out. And then later on, Justin Robinson, he's a filmmaker here. He released a film, I think it was called The Taste Tester, if I remember correctly. But he dropped it, and it's a great film. It's awesome. And I was like, man, the score is really good on this. I'm curious who did it, and it was Kyle. And I was like, okay. And then just started seeing all these films one by one showing up with Kyle doing the music, and I was like, this has to be the guy. This is like, the music was too important for this story not to to find the perfect person. And so I did reach out, and we had a lot of conversations about the movie and what it should sound like. And what we kind of came up with is that from Will's perspective, we almost wanted to treat it like he thinks he's like in a movie in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like he thinks he's in a Hitchcock movie, basically. And, so we kind of stick through that the whole time, and until really, the whole story turns on its head when Guy tackles him, and we kind of go into a more serious, modern score. And then by the end, it's kind of like a mesh of both, kind of showing that shift there. So, he's a fantastic storyteller.
James, watching yourself act with that music, do you think, wow, I'm really good? Because, look at me with that music. Or are you just like, oh, I had a perfect music. There's too much music there. I played that scene. It didn't need that. You're living in a world that's like with this beautiful sound from a cinematic score. How does that hit you when you watch it?
This one, I think I've watched maybe a couple of times. I honestly, I love it, but I don't like watching. I'm not one of the guys that likes. I don't like watching myself. I'm so like maybe one day I'll get past a bit of critical of myself. So I'm always like, oh, I could have done that better. Or I could have done that better. Or I could have done that differently. So I'm always like, if I do it, it's good. Like I screened it for some friends and ended up, I just walked outside and waited. And then came back in and was like, did you like it? And they're like, man, we loved it. I was like, okay. Because I just can't sit there and watch myself. It's just too much sometimes.
Well, it is like it is different than like a theatrical, like in a play. If you don't like something or the way the performance goes one night, you can just do it different the next day. And then with a film, it's just locked forever. If you don't like a choice you made or you think you could have done better, you have to see it again and again.
That's a benefit of doing it, because when you're with Daniel, with the director, and you're able to in the moment see footage and see how you can tweak it, that's great, that's fine. But the end product, when you're watching it with other people, that's kind of tough, because that's when I get real critical on myself.
Melissa, did you edit the score, the music with the music, or did it come to you? Gave them timings and you just dropped in stuff. Did you guys use any temp score or anything?
No, we didn't.
No.
We just kind of let it field it out. And
we sort of felt our way through that, where we just felt like if the pacing as it was working, then the music would only add to it. You weren't sort of leaving a ton of space for music. I actually think I just watched it a couple days ago, and I don't think I'd seen it with the music, with the final music. It's fantastic. It's so good. Music is so good. So you're fine.
Well, I think we're getting up on the time when we'll go and we will watch a making of video that accompanies the film, and I think it goes into maybe more production detail along those lines and everything. But I think this was a good intro conversation, I guess, to have. I want to know, Daniel, I just love how you built this whole world inside the film, like the film within the film. Will's movies. You made the podcast within the film. You made all the films that Will wrote in prison. Like there's posters for movies that don't exist and everything. I love that kind of creating depth in the world, and I have a hunch that you do too, and you probably did a lot of work to make those things. Is there a way we can see any of that stuff? One, is there like a recording of the full podcast? I think that's your voice on it. Can I listen to the screenwriting podcast? Can I see Will Wright's short film that Guy says is terrible? That he won the trophy for? I mean, are you going to make one of those movies that Will Wright has written from prison?
We have joked a lot about making those bad short films, like having a series of them, just because like it was so much fun to make. It was like it really felt like we were kids again, just like making home movies and just having fun and not really caring what anyone really thought about what the end product was like. And it just kind of it just fell back into the love of making it and stuff. I'm a good edited actor, maybe. I don't even know if good's the right word. I'm okay edited actor. So I don't even think I could sustain a podcast long enough without too many
but you're a writer,
or whatever.
You could write it all out, and you could have a script. We'd never know.
True, but it's still a. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was gonna say there's some early versions of the cut where he was just like making it up as he went. Hilarious.
I love your promos you did for tonight. The promos of you as Daniel Hamby, pretentious director.
Those are great.
That's a character you should explore.
Yeah. I have no idea what accent that is. I don't know if it's British. I don't know if it's a country. I don't like. It's a weird something.
It's elevated. Mid-Atlantic, I think, is what that accent is called. I would have to ask my acting friends about that. Well, look, I'm so excited about the film. It's you don't see this as much anymore. People that are inspired by those old Hitchcockian kind of thrillers, like all the Hitchcock stuff. I mean, if you're somebody watching this and you haven't dug into like the old Hitchcock movies from England, like before he was a famous Hollywood guy, those are always worth a look, and you'll learn something and be entertained by those. And it's so cool to see a movie like this, a very modern and fresh take on that's entertaining and is being screened at festivals and people are seeing. So I'm so glad it's out. James, your performance is just fantastic, electrifying. I'm so glad I got to see you give that performance and get to know you a little bit after, and I'm sure we will work together again. And Melissa, I am still dreaming of an opportunity where I can shoot a movie and just hand it to an editor and just walk away, because it's probably my fault. I'm probably too insecure about everything, but man, that just sounds like a dream. And your cut of the movie is wonderful. It's not too long. It's not too short. That's like one of these things you'll see like a short at a festival and you'll be like, this is just, it's too long. It needs something to come out of it. And I think this cut just breezes through. I never get bored, never get lost in the story. I always know where I am. But ultimately, hats off to you, Daniel, for pulling together an incredible cast, an incredible script. We will. Do you guys have anything else you want to add? Not that
just thank you, everybody, for for all your amazing work. I can write something down, but it takes an amazing team of artists and collaborators to put it together. So just couldn't do it without you guys. And and Chris, get you having an editor. I'll never go back, because I used to edit all my own stuff, and it's very nice. I highly recommend it.
Me too.
Well, also thank you. Yeah, find all these people. We can find all these people, right? Wait, I think we have a question for Daniel. One just came in.
Hot off the presses.
Nice.
I feel like somebody said, I feel like this film played much better at the 8 o'clock time slot than the 1 a.m. time slot. Does any film play good at 1 a.m., I guess?
Oh my gosh, that was the most...
Do you know who that is?
I won't. Yeah, I know exactly who that is. I won't say what festival it was, but they gave us like the absolute worst time slot possible, and they were running late. It was like It was like they started at 9:30 or something like that. 9:45. It was late, and it didn't end. And it's supposed to start at 9:45. It didn't really start till like 10:15, 10:30, and so it was midnight, maybe even past midnight before the actual film played, and it was like the most miserable screening experience I've ever had. But they did, to their credit, they did apologize and re-screened it later on in the festival. So,
at 3 a.m. They showed it again at 3 a.m. Right?
Yeah, exactly. But I'm very thankful for those friends that were there that stuck around and watched it then, because I just hit 30 this year, and I can't stay up past 12 anymore.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
Hey, this again, hats off to the entire filmmaking community, not just from Charlotte. You guys are from the Charlotte area, and there are amazing filmmakers in Charlotte, but also Gunnar Willis, who's from Greenville, headed west, but grew up in Spartanburg and Greenville, and also Jeremy Camp. He was a Greenville guy. He's in Los Angeles now on the West Coast, but a lot of talent here, and a lot of I just think it's cool, Daniel, that you use the opportunity in a rough festival season, in a rough festival year, a rough year to have a film in festivals, to just make some friends and just connect them like this. I think we need to do this every month, and I'm putting you in charge of it. Yeah. So let's just show some movies and get together and have great conversations, because this is super fun.
Yeah, no, I enjoy doing this. I'll do something similar for every release that I do from now on, even if it's a short, just because it turns a film into an event, which I think that's kind of what films should be. They should be an event thing. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, cheers. Congratulations, everybody. Thank you, everybody who's watching live and will watch the archive of this. It is called Writer's Block. It is a film by Daniel Hamby, starring James Self, and edited beautifully by Melissa Salpietra. Did I get it right that time again?
Nice.
It makes me nervous every time.
But, hey, but thank you guys. Your talent is wonderful, and thanks for creating this great event. And Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Awesome. All right.
Thank you.
14 take 4, Mark. 14 beta take 2, soft 6, Mark. Theater take 1, Mark.
If you're the kind of person that likes to watch a lot of behind the scenes on how films are made, or if you're the kind of person that likes to have a side hustle, or if you're just a creative or an artist, then this film's probably for you. One of the big pieces of advice you get in school, and it's kind of a cliche now, is the advice, write what you know. As a person that loves mystery films, loves film noir, loves detective films, loves horror films, the advice, write what you know, always had a hard time clicking in my brain because I didn't know anything about those things. I've never been a detective and I've never been a murderer as far as you know. So that's kind of where the idea of Writer's Block came from, is like, what if you took that to the most literal conclusion?
It's a sci-fi crime drama. Okay? Sick.
So I wrote Writer's Block back in 2017. I started hanging out with a producer named Sean Beck. This time I got brave enough to share the script with him, and his response was, this is something that needs to be made. We got Juli Emmons to join us. She helped us with casting. One thing I really wanted to make sure is that we found the perfect people to play these characters who not only would honor what was in the script, but maybe bring something else to the role to help flesh out these characters and bring them to life.
It's a screenwriting podcast.
Like movies and shit? You're a movie director?
Aspiring.
You know, what I loved about Dre is that he didn't make Will a nerd. He played him in a way where I thought people could insert themselves into his shoes very easily. He was going to be encountering a lot of things and doing a lot of silly things, and it needed to be believable.
Okay, cool. So when you hit him, kind of hit him from this way, so that way you can like take the gun that direction.
Spoilers, the scene I'm looking forward to the most probably is when I have to smother Guy. When Will is like, okay, he's finally decided he's going to try to kill the guy the guy in his grandparents' cabin.
What are you doing?
How quickly the situation turns on its head and Will loses the power in the situation. I think it's going to be incredibly dynamic, incredibly fun to do.
I've got an idea for a movie, and I think you'll like it. Okay, now it's a sci-fi crime drama.
What was great about James is that he really made Guy his own character. You know, the way Guy was written originally in the script was more like this hippie character, but he brought in this element that was more of a Big Lebowski, the dude type. And while, you know, this character's saying these things, doing these things, it's not coming across as him being a jerk. It's coming across, you know, just him being lovably ignorant.
Dude, you own Shawshank Redemption?
Yeah.
Oh, the movie's so bad. That's awesome, man. I mean, have you made anything that I would like have seen or anything?
So we spent 3 days in Brevard, North Carolina. My in-laws have a cabin up there. We were lucky enough to be able to shoot there and stay there. With the cinematography, I really wanted it to feel as natural as possible. I didn't want to play into any cinematic gimmicks. I didn't want a film with lots of flares. or in a 2:40 ratio or any crazy bokehs or anything like that. I love all those things. I didn't want to fall into the trap of some of the things that we were poking fun at. I wanted the film to look as natural as possible. I wanted it to lean a little darker to kind of play into the thriller aspects of it. I wanted to have fall colors. I really wanted to play that up. It was important that we filmed in October.
Camera's rolling. All right, and action.
Jake Colletta ended up DPing this film for us, and he really knocked all those things out of the park. He listened and he was just on board for anything that I threw at him. He also was able to bring in an excellent team around him that knew the craft, knew how to tell the story with the lighting and grip and the things that we needed for this film.
So one of the main cinematography challenges was this day for night scene. The big challenge was there was a large glass sliding door with tons of light just pouring through it. And there was no other time to film it. We had to do it in the day. It was really cool to watch Jake and TJ set up all the rigging and everything that was necessary, and they just were able to create this amazing look like it was moonlight coming through the windows that we're seeing, and they were able to black off the large door. To be honest, it's probably one of my favorite looking scenes in this film. The way that it is lit is just really spectacular, and I really thought they nailed it out of the park. You might recognize this stunt from earlier.
No!
Which is what's funny, and what Guy and James didn't tell me, of course, is that they both have knee injuries, and Dre's like supposed to go have knee surgery like literally the week after we're done filming. We tried to make sure it was safe as possible. We wanted the actors to feel comfortable doing this stunt. If not, we were going to find another way to do it. But they were comfortable and were willing to go at it. And so we blew up an air mattress for them to land on.
Now I'm blowing up an air mattress quickly, speedy on set, for some stunts we're gonna do tonight for the night shoot. Going really slowly. Look at that. Hi, Colin. What are you up to?
I've been tricked.
But look at your progress.
I know.
So what just happened?
I finished.
We never thought this day would come.
We are just beating James up a little bit. Wound from a typewriter, a vintage typewriter, and just kind of bruising him up a little bit.
Funny thing is, we have this part where the chair's supposed to have collided off. So we just took off the arms, and they kind of made these little claw things. And it's just like, I love accidents like that, because that wasn't planned. We were originally just gonna like destroy the chair, but once we just saw those little claw arm things come off of him, it was like, okay, that's all we need to do, because if he's trying to fight back with him like some kind of weird T-Rex thing, that's just gonna be even funnier. Once we finished that week in Brevard, we shot for 2 more days in Mount Pleasant. For the first spot we went to was Pleasant Memory Sweets and Treats, which is an ice cream shop in the middle of Mount Pleasant. Originally there was only going to be one shot at this ice cream shop, and that was just Will eating ice cream. The rest of the scene was supposed to take place in a car, but just due to logistical reasons, we needed to film that scene there. What we ended up doing is I blocked them back to back. No matter how much he tried to ignore it, no matter how much he put his back literally to him, Guy was going to come in and do what he was going to do, regardless of what Will wanted. What I love about directing a film is finding those lightning in a bottle moments. And the table in the ice cream scene was very wobbly. Guy goes and sits down and moves it around. The ice cream tips over. As Will's trying to straighten it up and Guy goes in and it falls over again. The ice cream was a great, hilarious way to illustrate that. That was totally by accident. You can't make that stuff up. It was just such a great way to introduce how the relationship was going to work. Guy was a demanding force that kind of was taking over Will's life, whether he wanted it to or not. The last location we ended up going to was Southern Grace Distilleries. We needed a jail scene. It was the hardest location to find. It was a prison not that long ago, so it still felt pretty modern and fit what needed to happen in that scene. I was able to work with Patrick, who is an actor in the Charlotte area. He actually helped Juli find Dre and had auditioned him, I guess. Southern Grace Distilleries was so nice and so great. They provided a bottle of Conviction, which made a cameo in the film, actually. They provided a bottle of Conviction, so, you know, we drank a bottle of that, that they gave us on set. I think as artists and filmmakers, we can sometimes take ourselves way too seriously. I wanted a film that kind of built bridges to each other and maybe give us a chance to kind of laugh at ourselves in this crazy pursuit that we call filmmaking. We really had an all-star crew, whether that was camera, sound, MHU, casting, acting, producing, and all the post-production. The filmmaking community in general, everyone seems to be really generous with the amount of time and the things that they're willing to give to a passion project, which that's what makes filmmaking as fun as it can be. If you haven't already, please go to filmwritersblock.com and sign up for our email list. That is the best way to stay connected with not only this film, but all the films that I'm making. It was a pleasure making this film. It was a pleasure talking to you. And thank you for watching the making of Writer's Block. And remember, make movies or die. All right, awesome. Well, that's it. That's the premiere, everyone. I am thrilled to have it out there. Thank you so much for making it a really fun event. I also want to thank Jeremy Camp and Gunnar Willis for letting me screen their films. They're both awesome films. They're both awesome filmmakers. If you're not already following them, go follow them right now. And just follow up with their work. And I also want to thank Chris White for moderating for us. He did a credible job. He's just been a cheerleader of the film ever since he saw it. I think at the Reda Reels Film Festival, actually. So it was just it was really an honor to have him moderate it. And thank you, James and Melissa, for being part of the Q&A and you know, going under fire for those hard-hitting questions there. You know, like I said kind of in the previous video, if you haven't already, go to filmwritersblock.com and sign up for our email list. That really is the best way to keep up with the films that I'm working on in the future, as well as like what's going on with this project. And you know, I'll stay in the chat for a little while if you guys want to talk or have any questions or anything like that. I am happy to hang out and celebrate with you guys. But anyway, thank you so much. It really has been a ton of fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed the event. So thank you, and y'all have a good night.